New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring. What if you had a place to return to every day for peace, clarity, and connection? The New Thought Ministry of Prayer offers live morning and evening prayer, along with a growing library you can access anytime. This is a space for reflection, renewal, and real spiritual practice, rooted in the understanding that something greater is already alive within you. You are welcome here. Join us live or watch anytime. The New Thought Ministry of Prayer, part of the New Thought Media Network. Come, take a moment for what matters most.
Hey everybody, Dr. Tracy Brown, RScP, is in the house and you're in the house with me, and this is so great. I'm so glad that you have joined me today on the Inclusive Church right here on the New Thought Media Network, where we come together every Tuesday at noon Mountain Time and reground ourselves in the spiritual foundation that is the impulse and the impetus and the catalyst for us choosing to be inclusive in our spiritual communities. What are the spiritual principles beneath that? How do we actually live it? How do we use our spiritual principles to keep us motivated to be inclusive of all kinds of people in our spiritual communities when it's hard? We talk about all of that and more. And we're ending a series today. We've done, or this will be the 5th week in a series that is really focused on the reminder that inclusive leadership is a spiritual practice. Right? Simply committing to inclusive spiritual leadership or being a leader who is inclusive, yes, there are things you need to know and there are things you need to do. But at the foundation of it all, it is a spiritual practice in itself, and we can use spiritual practice in order to ground ourselves, motivate ourselves, keep ourselves on track. And if you are watching live and you want to follow Wayne's example, just say hello in the chat or in the comment section, depending on which platform you're on. Tell us where you're from if you want to share that. Say hello also to Anita. And another hello from Mr. Preet 1984M. So At any point, you can drop a note in the chat. Hello, Marjorie. Good to see you, or good to be seen by you today, since I can't actually see you. I can just see your comments. So, throughout our time together, well, today actually, there may not be a place. There may be, I don't know, but we'll be doing spiritual practice together. So you may not have comments as you are participating in the spiritual practice, but I'll make sure at the end I make some comments and leave enough time if you want to add something there. So, wow, this series has been really powerful, is not the word I'm looking for. It has been moving for me, thinking about it, preparing for it, and doing it. So the first week we focused on simply the commitment to embody being inclusive and moving from belief, right? Belief that inclusion is important and that diversity can be valued, to embodying it, making it a lived identity, how I identify myself. Week 2, we moved into accountability. So, okay, if I'm going to embody it, I also need to hold myself accountable. So it wasn't about holding other people accountable. It was about, wow, I am going to hold myself accountable to be the expression of this spiritual truth. And I'm going to take responsibility for the impact that I have with the people I come into contact with and how I show up. Week 3 was about increasing awareness and looking for opportunities in real time to be inclusive. Week 4, which we did last week, was about taking action to, once you have awareness, to take action to interrupt negative bias and exclusion when it is happening. And so all 4 of those weeks have been really focused on, like, me as a spiritual leader or a leader in a spiritual community, what I need to do. And we're going to spend this last week on, okay, but I can't do it by myself. So how do I help to create a culture in my spiritual community where the responsibility for being inclusive is shared between me and others? And so we know we are responsible for ourselves, and one part of that responsibility does extend to being an example for and engaging others as well. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to invite you to just, oh, I got some kinks in my body. So if you're sitting wherever you're seated, or if for some reason, like me, you are standing, just kind of move your body a little bit. We're going to combine some somatic practice and some meditation and some contemplation. Just going to mix it up a little bit over the next 20 minutes or so. Yeah, just breathe. Yeah. As we begin to melt into this practice together, eyes open, eyes closed, but focus on your hands for a moment and place them in front of you Hands open, palms upward. And breathe. And bring to mind images of people, the people who might be watching you as you lead in your spiritual community. Imagine real people, people who speak to you, people who say hello, people who ask you questions, people who look up to you as a mentor or as simply someone who's been in the community for a really long time. There are real people who are watching, who are learning, who are listening. By example, you are leading. You are showing and demonstrating what is acceptable, what is encouraged, what is possible. Whether you tell people you are committed to inclusion or not, it becomes evident by your actions. And what I know is that people don't follow the statements you make, the words that you say. They follow embodiment. They follow what you do. Your actions speak louder than your words. And so today we relax into this space, this mental space of inclusion is the culture we create. Inclusion becomes the culture when it is modeled. Inclusion becomes the culture when it is reinforced. Inclusion becomes the culture when it is invited and evident. So take 2 deep breaths and go even deeper within. Breath number 2. And I invite you to repeat after me. I lead by example. I invite others into this work. I create a culture of belonging. We rise together. I lead by example. I invite others into this work. I create a culture of belonging. We rise together. And moving your hands to your heart space. Feel what that feels like when you imagine yourself and everyone involved in your spiritual community rising together. We rise together. And in your mind's eye, simply visualize the people in your spiritual community, whether it is people who you hug in person or people who you see on a Zoom screen or people you observe because you are watching a program or a service online while others are in the room. Picture your favorite spiritual community or the one you know the best. How is inclusion visible? Do you see diversity in skin color? Do you see diversity in age? Do you hear diversity in the voices, the accents, the language spoken, the ways of communicating verbally? How do you see people who are different from one another being included as leaders, teachers, presenters, team leads? Where do you see? How do you see? Who do you see that represents inclusion is present here? Hold on to those images in your mind. And now put yourself into those images and imagine yourself actively inviting others into this vision, into this community. And let my words be your words. I am a catalyst for change. I empower others to lead. Together, we create belonging. I am a catalyst for change. I empower others to lead. Together, we create belonging. I am a catalyst for change. I empower others to participate. Together, we create belonging. I am a catalyst for change. I empower others to participate. Together, we create belonging. Together, we create an inclusive spiritual community. Together, we represent heaven on earth. Together, we create a spiritual community that works for everyone. Together, we represent love, unity, harmony. I am a catalyst for change. Take that into the silence for just a few seconds. I am a catalyst for change. I am a catalyst for change. I am a catalyst for change. And as a catalyst for change, I commit now to bring at least one new person into this work to create an inclusive spiritual community. Who will that person be? Will it be someone who is already in the community, who I invite to step up, learn more, embody more? Will it be someone who is not currently a part of my community, my spiritual community, but I invite them to come and join us and be a part of us? Who is the one person, the next person I will intentionally invite to expand inclusion in my spiritual community? And as that person is clear in your mind, I want you to hold on to that as well, because you are making a commitment now to use your influence and your example for good. I'm going to invite you to breathe deeply. Exhale with a sigh or an ah on your next exhale. Scan your body for any place where there might be a little tension. Breathe into that space or shake it out, just very gently, as you bring yourself back into full consciousness and full presence, right here and right now. This week, it is all about creating a culture where inclusion is shared. For 4 weeks, we have grounded ourselves in our individual commitment, our individual awareness, our individual willingness to take action. And today, our commitment is about bringing others with us. And so we do get to remember that inclusion is not sustained. I don't even think it can be created, but it definitely cannot be sustained by individuals alone, because we're talking about building a spiritual community, which automatically implies all different kinds of people. So inclusion becomes real when it becomes so much a part of the culture that it is obvious to everyone. Wayne reminds us to celebrate the diversity that is simply representing all the creativity of spirit itself. Spirit, the creator, did not create one person, just like the creator did not create one single flower. There are many species of flowers. Even within a species, there are many different colors of flowers of the same species. And we celebrate that. We enjoy it. We use it to create beautiful gardens. And we can do the same in our spiritual communities with the people who are all part of the human species, but represent many, many different shapes and sizes and colors and ages and all the ways that we can be different from one another. So I hope today has given you the opportunity to recommit to not only your own responsibility to be inclusive, but to bring some other folks along with you. If you have any comments about the practice today, now would be the time to put them in the chat or the comment section before we close out our time together. I want to remind you that if you want to go back and see any of the previous spiritual practices, or not see them, but remind yourself and actually go through the practice, you can take a pic of this image with the QR code and go to the playlist to watch past shows of the Inclusive Church. Not only the last 4 that were focused on spiritual practice, not only those 4, but all the past shows over the last 1.5 to 2 years that we've been doing the show. So next week, we will begin a new series. And in the meantime, I think that Wayne may be closing us out today with a message that I hope resonates with everybody. Now is the time to love and be loved. So to be loved, love others, and be loved. And I will see you right back here next Tuesday at noon Mountain Time, right here on the New Thought Media Network. My name is Tracy Brown. Have a great week.
Thanks for watching The Inclusive Church with Tracy Brown. Join us again next week at 12 noon Mountain Time.
There is a presence ready to meet you here. Join the New Thought Ministry of Prayer live every day, 8:15 a.m. and 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time. Enter a field of intention where prayer is spoken and something deeper is revealed. Our professional prayer partners stand with you in truth, in love, in possibility. Bring your request live or share it anytime at ntmedia.org/prayer. Come as you are and step into what is already becoming. We look forward to praying with you.